Fossil fuels control most of our day-to-day lives. But in this age of climate change, how important is clean technology and energy for our future? Some suggest we need to harness our renewable energy sooner rather than later.
Well, I think that the climate crisis has reached such a point that it's imperative that we turn to renewable, clean energy sources pretty near as close to immediately as we can.
Researchers estimate that the cleantech industry could be worth as much as $50 billion. But Canada doesn't appear to be taking the initiative on this.
Across Canada, actually, we could generate 1 million times our electricity needs if we were to exploit our geothermal resource. How many geothermal power stations do we have in Canada? 0.
But despite the lack of investment in clean tech, there still appears to be a market and appeal for some businesses.
Well, there's definitely a market for it. Green tech is the future, not only for attracting green tech companies, but each company can improve their bottom line. That's the whole purpose of business.
So then why aren't some businesses taking advantage of the industry? While some suggest the perception of renewable energy may be part of the problem.
I think most of the challenges and objections to doing this would be more perceptions than reality. Obviously for some businesses there's more you can do than for others just because of the kind of industry sector that you may find yourselves in. But really what we've found is anybody can make some low or no cost improvements to their businesses.
On March 25th, the Walrus Foundation and Suncor held an event to discuss the urgency in which we need to address renewable energy and climate change.
The climate there has woken up, and at 0.8 degrees Celsius of warming, we can hear it growling. Opening shots typical of this fight: prolonged drought in California and the American Southwest, weather patterns that have changed so much they flood Calgary and Toronto, a typhoon in the Philippines that was horrific to watch, even on television, droughts, fires, floods of biblical proportion in Australia. These are a pattern that are clearly emerging, and it's nothing compared to what the climate bear has in store.
So what can we, as both citizens and human beings, do to help?
I think the way to make change is in these mass movements, and so people should find the climate justice groups on campus or around the city and get involved in them. And our strength is by getting more and more people involved, because I think most people can see there's a climate problem, and most people can see that it makes sense to stop using gas and oil that are causing the problem and switch to something else. What is missing is the confidence that we can do something about it.
You know, there are huge things that we can do as Canadians. I mentioned that Canadians use about twice as much energy as Europeans. Well, it's not like Europeans have a really low standard of living. They have a decent standard of living. So how do they do that? You need to be more efficient.
We live on a finite planet. Resources aren't endless. Therefore, by divesting into alternative sources of fuel, we're not only going to reduce our carbon print, but it just makes common sense. It's a moral obligation. It simply comes down to a moral obligation for our future, whether we believe in it or not.